Hey everyone, welcome back to Echo Hive. In this video, we're going to continue building the adventure game using the OpenAI's GPT-3 API. I'll put the links to the previous videos in the description. So just to recap, we have created this prompt, which actually kind of looks like this, more or less. And then we had to put line separators, line breaks over here. And then we send it to DaVinci 003, we get its response, and then we print it. We were able to get a whole story out of it. But now what we want to do is convert these /n's so that the responses are more readable, and then also allow the user to be able to enter the user strategy. So just to show you how it looks, here I have actually somewhat managed to do it. This is the split prompt, which actually splits the response into readable lines. And then if we just run it, let's see what happens. So it says Ragnar and Ashton are walking through a dark cave. Suddenly they hear a loud growl and find themselves face to face with a giant dragon. They must choose how to deal with this dragon situation. So this is level 1. Okay, they make fun of the dragon. So it allows us now to put a user strategy. After that, it goes back to GPT-3 with this user strategy, and then the result comes back. The dragon is angered by the characters mocking and unleashes a torrent of fire from his mouth. Both characters manage to dodge the flames but lose 10 points from their health. There we go. Updated health. And then, yeah. Okay. So let's see how we can manage this. First of all, let's do this, making sure, let's define a function. Let's with the split prompt. It's actually, Google Copilot had done it before, so it's recommending this. So what I did is I went to ChatGPT and asked, well, how can I remove the line breaks and then make sure that whatever the contents that are separated by line breaks actually show up in different lines. And it suggested the split method. So if you have a string with a line break, then you assign it to a list by splitting at that line break, and then you can then print each individual element separately on a new line. So this is what we are doing here. We are actually assigning to the parts list the split version of the prompt, and then for the length of the list, we're printing each part. If we just wanted to see its result real quick, just to see how it looks, we can run this real quick. What happened? Yeah, as you can see now, each line is in its own line. That's good. So we took care of that using this, right? After that, we need to be able to we need to be able to stop the sequence of generation at the user strategy part, right? To be able to do that, we say stop equals, and this needs to be a list because you can have more than one stop sequence words or stop sequences. We need to say user strategy. That's it. So this is where it needs to stop. And after that, when we're running our loop, if you remember from the previous video, let's just put this to a 1. We need to get the response and then allow, right where it stops, we need to say user response. User strategy, I mean, equals user input, right? So then user inputs the strategy, then the prompt gets loaded with that. User strategy. There we go. And then we send it again to the GPT, but with the split prompt ability, right? So because we want to be able to read it. So we get its response. Actually, the response is going to have to use this as well, right? So we use the generate story function to send the prompt, receive its response, and split it into a readable form with this function, and then assign it to response. Then we print the response, and then after reading it, then we get asked what the user strategy is. Then we add the user strategy back to the prompt, and then it repeats again. So let's just say 3, because then the prompt would get updated. Hopefully this should work. I hope so. And we are printing it. Let's see what happens. Oh, I have to. Oh, I have to uncomment these. Let's run it again. Okay. Yeah, this works great. So it says Ragnar and Ashlyn are walking through a dark and eerie cave. Suddenly they come across a large lake of lava. They must find a way to get across it without getting burned. They try to jump over it. It says, but the bear is too fast. They try to jump over. Oh, see, sometimes it actually fails. The bear, I don't know where it added the bear. It's just too fast, and they fall and hurt themselves. They lose 10 points. At least it updated. They lose 10 points in health. It updated the health. Did it do it correctly? Let's look at our original prompt. It didn't do it correctly. Well, we're gonna have to deal with all that at a later time. But maybe the temperature, I was actually playing with this. Let's reduce it and then run it again. I thought it was doing better with lower temperatures. Okay. This time it's saying Ragnar and Ashlyn are crossing a rickety bridge over a deep ravine. Suddenly the bridge collapses and they must find a way to cross the ravine safely. They swim real fast. Oh, is there water? They run real fast. They run real fast and find themselves in a dark and gloomy cave. Must choose how to deal with the situation. It didn't update the... let's take a look at... Maybe I'm doing something wrong here. There's the copy. We can actually compare these two. I don't know if you knew, but if you have two .py files, Python files in Visual Studio, you can select both of them, and now you can compare. Let's see. What is the differences? You can see this is what we're comparing. This particular one. You know what? This is not very helpful. Let's do it like this. So here. Oh, okay. Let me. Yeah. This I remember now. We had to do this. Let me actually copy this real quick, and I will rewrite it again. So what happens is that because the user strategy, as you saw earlier, just gets completed in a weird way, and then it just kind of gets stuck. So what I decided to do was that, okay, the user strategy is empty at first, right? Until the user inputs some kind of text into it. So then I want to print the first response from the original prompt. And then while the user strategy is empty, it says while not user strategy essentially is doing that, we could have also said user strategy equals empty. They're both the same thing. Then we want user strategy to equal to whatever the user is going to input. After that, we update the prompt with the user strategy, plus then we say the result. Yeah, because otherwise it just gets confused and it completes the wrong thing and it doesn't update the characters. And then we print, and then we send this new prompt back to GPT-3 and then get its response. Then we get the seed, and then for the next level, we reset the user strategy to an empty string. So then the next time in the loop, when it's sending the new prompt, which is all updated over here, then the user strategy will be empty so that it shall ask us again what the user strategy will be. So if we run this, oh, I see, it's at sample level. It should have said level 1. Anyway, Ragnar and Ashley come across a large chasm. They must choose how to cross it. Okay, they try to jump over it. Well, that didn't go well. Why? Let's try this again. Okay, Ragnar and Ashley find themselves in a dark underground cave. They must find a way to escape before the cave collapses. They sit and do nothing. Ragnar and Ashley sit and do nothing, allowing the bear to approach them. They manage to escape, but not without taking some damage. Ragnar and Ashley's health is reduced by 10 points each. Okay. Characters are updated, but not by 10 points. I don't know where the bear came from, because the bear is in the sample. Yeah, we're going to have to redo the original prompt. But it's okay, we're figuring out the technical details for now. Anyway, that's good, so it went on to the next level, at least. Ragnar and Ashley are unable to move as the bear approaches them, but the bear swipes at them with his claws, causing Ragnar and Ashley to lose 25 points. And then it updates it. Yeah, it does this sometimes. Where is level 2? What is level 2? It shouldn't go here, but... Okay. Ragnar and Ashley find themselves in a dark cave. They must find a way out before Ragnar find themselves in a dark cave. They must make their way to the cave and find the exit, but there are many dangerous creatures lurking in the shadow. They sing and dance. Okay, the bear is unimpressed by their singing and dancing. It keeps going back to the bear. So I guess it could be one of those creatures lurking in the shadows. And charges towards them. Ragnar and Ashley manage to dodge the bear's attack and run away, but their health is reduced by 10 points. Again, it only reduced by 5. And then level 2. The bear is confused and curious at the same time. Oh, Ragnar and Ashley find a dark cave. Suddenly the bear it just kind of does this weird completions. Level 2. Ragnar and Ashley find themselves in a dark cave filled with bats. They must find a way to get out of the cave without being attacked by the bats. They run real fast. Oh, made a typo. Ragnar is to try to outrun the bear. It keeps going to the bear. Let's run this again. That's right. Okay, Ragnar and Ashley have ventured deep into the forest and have come across a mysterious cave. In order to continue their journey, they must find a way to get past the cave. They kick the cave walls. Ragnar and Ashlyn kick the cave walls, and a small rock falls out, revealing a hidden passage. They enter the passage cautiously, only to find themselves in a large room filled with treasure. They quickly gather as much treasure as they can carry. Make their escape. Ragnar and Ashley powers increased by 5 points. Okay, this time it's doing a better job, I believe. And then the walls crumble, and they find themselves in a large room filled with a horde of goblins. The goblins spot them quickly, surround them. Ragnar and Ashley must choose how to deal with this dangerous situation. It's asking us to use a strategy. They try to reason with goblins. Let's see what happens. The goblins are surprised by the character's boldness and agree to let them pass through the cave. However, they take a toll of 10 points from the character's health for the trouble. Alright, that's good. The goblins are surprised by the sudden outburst, but ultimately relent and let Ragnar and Ashley pass without incident. They continue on their journey unscathed, but a bit shaken from the close call. Yeah. So it gets confused. Like I said, the original prompt has to be rewritten. I mean, this was pretty happenstance and haphazard. But I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, let's just recap real quick. So the important parts of this video, in my opinion, is this technical details of making the prompt readable by splitting it into a list right where the line breaks are from the response that comes back from the GPT-3, right, API. Then to print it line by line by using a for loop, iterating over the parts list. And then adding the stop sequence so that generation process stops right where the user strategy should be, and then creating some kind of an algorithm that will work to stop the generation process, allow the user to enter a strategy, and then give us the result and update the character stats, and then just move on for the rest of the whole of the 10 levels. So obviously there are some problems, but in the next video we'll try to eliminate them, fix them. This is not an exact science working with large language models, but I hope you're enjoying this as much as I'm making these videos. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and have a good one.